just do it with Miami Dolphins. The pressure, he's in trouble. Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle. It's a Dolphin touchdown. Throwing deep upfield on the near side. Man open. Touchdown! Looking deep. He's got it there. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. He's got it for a touchdown! Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go! What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Fins win. Fins for the win. Baby, let's go. Let's go. Your Miami Dolphins are now 4-1. And what? They sit atop the AFC East after the Bills laid a dud against the Jags today. Let's go, baby. Y'all already know what time it is. W's all across the board. This is going to be an open panel show for all of you as per usual. But before we get into all of that, man, you know, it was one of those days. It wasn't pretty. Tua, he was 22 of 30 for 308, averaged about 10.3 yards per completion, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, had a rating of 100.4. Daniel Jones, he was 14 of 20 for 119 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Tyrod Taylor, 9 of 12 for 86 yards. I'm going to be honest with you, not a fan of the fact we didn't force any turnovers from Daniel Jones. You know, we were hitting him, but he was looking still comfortable making the underneath reads, and that's what they were basically giving him, underneath stuff, and they really simplified it for him. Obviously, Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert, they both had fumbles, but those were offset by Devin Achane's 11 carries, 151, 1 touchdown day. He gets my game ball 110%. Raheem Mostert, 10 carries for 65 yards. Tyreek actually probably gets my game ball, 8 receptions for 181 yards and a touchdown. You could take Achane or Hill, and you wouldn't be wrong. Defensively, I think this was an AVG. He just felt like he was all over the field today, AVG. Now, Jerome Baker and Emmanuel Ogbah each finished with a sack and a half, but AVG was just making them plays, was just doing it, man. And man, a lot of domination. We saw Wilkins dominate on the tier. Seiler had himself a day, 7 tackles and a tackle for a loss, you know. Now, I'm not going to go over here and start doing cartwheels and backflips because, again, it was the Giants, okay? It was the Giants, so you're not going to see me here overhyping and overselling you. But what I will say is this is great for the confidence. This is a great morale booster. You know, they were expected to execute at the level they executed at defensively today. Now, I would have liked to see an interception, more turnovers. You know, the fact that we don't have very many interceptions. I think we have, what do we have, 1 or 2 interceptions right now throughout the season? I think we have 1. I don't know. We have 1 or 2 interceptions right now to this point. That's very concerning. Let's, you know, again, and another thing too, I got to look at the snap count, but correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't see number 24. I didn't see Cam Smith getting a lot of reps out there. But you got to, hey, we're 4-1. You got to take the good with the bad. No team is perfect 5 weeks into the season. We just got to keep getting better. We got a chance to go 5-1 next week and continue to right the ship, continue to grow our confidence, and continue to execute defensively while continuing to iron out some fine details offensively. Because really, those 2 interceptions, listen, you forced that throw into Jalen Waddle, got popped up, tip drill, intercepted, ran back for a pick 6. The second one, I get it. Your arm hit Connor Williams. We all saw it on the replay. But still, you were late with that decision. You were late with that throw, and look what it ended up being. It was sloppy, man. But I'll tell you this much. I'd rather him be sloppy and us get the win against a team like that than, him be sloppy against the Philadelphia Eagles when we can't afford him to be. So we'll see it. We'll see how it works. It's a day where you got to be happy right now, man. You got to be happy, even though things were expected. Defensively, 7 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, 4 pass deflections, 14 quarterback hits. Oh boy, it was a day for the defense. And hey, listen, it was sloppy for the offense. We can all agree. We can all say it was sloppy. But my friends, they still put up 524 yards. They put up 222 on the ground. They put up 302 through the air. I will go back to McDaniel. Listen, Mikey boy, we got to have a conversation here, my friend. It's 3rd and 1. We're in 3rd and short situations again in the 4th quarter, under 7 minutes to play. You got one running back who at the time, because I wrote them down, okay, at the time, Mostert was averaging 7.6 yards per carry, and Achane was averaging 13.7 yards per carry. And you decided to drop Tua back on 3rd and short in the 4th quarter. I don't get it. What do they need to show you? What do these running backs need to show you to earn your trust, Mikey? You even got Brooks out here using him as a tight end, using him as a fullback. Fullback dive his ass. When he's been given opportunities, he's shown. The guy looks like Jamal Lewis. We look like right now, out here, we look like Achane's out here looking like Barry Sanders, met Chris Johnson, met Warwick Dunn, while Chris Brooks is out here looking like Jamal Lewis, and Raheem Mostert's out here just shredding. What are we saying right now? Run the football. I do not understand this. You got to listen. If I was in the media, in terms of if I was a writer or I was in the South Florida media, right? I would be hammering them, Mike, on this stuff. What is with the refusal to run? I don't get it. Achane has had one mistake in all the carries you've given him. One mistake. One. And how did he respond to that mistake? Oh, I don't know, with a 76-yard touchdown run. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Someone explain to me. This man has, a stupid amount of yardage. An absolute ridiculous amount of yardage on like 38 carries. We're talking about a guy who has like 460 yards on 38 carries. That's ridiculous. Oh, and he's got 5 touchdowns. Not to mention as a receiver, not too shabby at all. As a receiver, he's got, 67 yards? So, what? I don't get it. Feed him. I don't understand. Someone's gonna have to explain this to me. But either way, listen. Almost 400 of you in the room. Please smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. I'm going to put the link in the comment section right now. This is for all y'all to come up. If you got something to say, if you want to join the conversation, there is the link in the chat for you right now. You already know what time it is, man. Appreciate all y'all for coming through. Smash that like button. 400 of you in the room. Smash, 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 please. So the Dolphins, they moved to 4-1, and it feels a little weird for people. I get it, because, we all expected them to do it in, a fashion that left no doubt about it. And hey, they won by 15 points, but we know they left points on the board today. We know they gave points away today as well to the Giants. I mean, it is what it is. It was sloppy. And it's fun. It's weird to say that when you win by 15 points that it was sloppy, but it was. It was a sloppy win. In the NFL, a win is a win. A dub is a dub. That's all there is to it. So we got to keep getting better from here on out. And hey, that's all you can ask. Winning along the way while continuing to get better sounds like a recipe for success for me, because, we haven't even hit our stride yet, ladies and gentlemen. This team hasn't even hit their stride yet. When this team hits their stride, these games like that do end up like that, Killer Bill. They are 42-3. And I said this during the game ball game. They were playing down to the competition, it felt like. This team hasn't even hit their stride yet. When this team hits their stride, my friends, scary. And you know what? Listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now. Work these kinks out. Get it going. I want to, listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now. I don't want to hit our stride till week 12, right as we're starting to head into those playoffs. I want to hit our stride right before we hit the playoffs. So if you can keep us in a playoff position and we hit that stride week 13, week 14, week 12-ish, and we ride that into the playoffs, let's go. Let's go. We haven't even hit our stride yet. Now, you want to hit your stride in week 8 and roll it through the playoffs, let's go. But usually teams that hit their stride in week 12 and week 13, they roll it right into the playoffs. And you see it in multiple sports, not just one. So let's get y'all up here. Let's give y'all a chance. I'm going to once again drop. We've already got people coming up backstage. I'll drop that link one more time in the chat for y'all. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Let's bring some class to the show. British Fin fan, Michael Fletcher, Bruce, and Robert. What's going on, gentlemen? Let's start with you, British Fin fan. What's on your mind, buddy?
Yeah, it was almost like an ugly win, wasn't it? There was some good things there, but we left some points on the board again. Some indiscipline as well with the penalties. Daniel going away from the run on 3-1 is absolutely got me. I can't get my head around that. I just don't understand when you've got one bike 7.5 yards a carry, the other one well over 10 yards per carry, and the Giants couldn't deal with the run. We could have run on them all day, and I think in that position, in that situation, you just want to close the game out, and just eat the clock, and we were in prime position to do that. But I think we just let the Giants hang around today in a game that they should never have had any business hanging around in.
Yeah.
We should have just blown the team out. So lots of things to clean up. Obviously happy with a win, but yeah, we need to clean some things up, man. But yeah, a win's a win. So I'm happy to be back at the top of the AFC East, thanks to our Florida cousins, the Jacksonville Jaguars, doing the business in my homeland in London. So yeah, it's good to be back on AFC East top, man, and on to Carolina.
Yeah, I keep going back to, like, what does this running back duo have to do to earn his trust on third down. I mean, they're putting up they have multiple games where they're putting up over 200 yards a game as a collective. I mean, they've had a game where they put up over 300 yards, for Christ's sake. I just don't understand. And this makes me think that if we would have got a Jonathan Taylor or one of those guys, would he even have gone to them on third down? Because look at how these guys are playing right now. They're out of their minds and they're not even gaining the trust. So I don't know if Jonathan Taylor would have had that trust early on, but hey, it is what it is. Michael Fletcher, what's on your mind, buddy? Let's hear what you got to say.
Yeah, guys. Great win today for Miami. A nice little bounce back after after what happened with Buffalo last week, and something that you were harping on early, and is that I think defensively, you're right, Reason. I think the one INT up to this point is a little bit alarming, but that middle interior, that the front four, the linebacking core, they got to the Giants O-line today. They absolutely harassed the quarterbacks all day long. Andrew Van Ginkel, I mean, please be the full-time starter for this team. I mean, he had like almost 3 sacks alone in this game. Jalen Phillips, obviously still nursing the back injury. You know what? If Van Ginkel's going to keep playing the way he's playing and playing like the monster that he is, Jalen Phillips, we could probably sit you out maybe for that game against Philadelphia or that game in Germany when we go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. So right now, it's kind of the situation where, plug and play, next man up, and they're doing amazing. No major complaints offensively. Yes, obviously keep running the football. That's going to be our bread and butter. And one funny exchange, and I don't know if you guys knew about this, and that was, I guess, after Achane ran that big touchdown, I think Waddle got into the ear of Tyreek saying, I think he's quicker than you. And I think I think that's why Tyreek kind of got a little teed and was like, oh yeah, watch this. And then, because you saw after he made that big play for the 69-yard, he went right after Waddle. It's like, you see, I'm still quicker. I love the pettiness of the Miami Dolphins of who's the fastest guy, because you had in one play, and they were even talking about it in the broadcast, Waddle, Hill, Mostert, and Achane all on the field at the same time. You're like, oh my God, good luck to try to stop these boys. So
I think
nice.
I don't think you bench Jalen Phillips in those games. You're going to need him in those games. I think AVG should be eating into Chubb snaps when Phillips gets back, because even before Phillips got hurt, he was getting pressure at a higher rate and just overall generally better than Chubb was, and that was without even having an advanced set of counter moves. So I think basically what you see here is, this is where I would go. What I would do is I would bring Chubb in on third downs and basically pass rush situations, and the rest of those downs would be given, the outlying downs would be given to Phillips, and then have him on the opposite. So I'd be taking Phillips off on third down. I'd have Chubb come in on third down, and then on the other side have AVG, because AVG, there's a couple guys who have screamed Fangio guy in this defense, Javon Holland and AVG being the two most. Obviously, Holland had his bad game last week, but he was back to being pretty good again today. At that big pass breakup where he got over top of Darren Waller that you love to see. So, I don't think you want to bench those guys. I think we want to get these guys. We want Phillips ready for that. So I think we can afford to give him another week off against the Panthers, because we expect to give them the work. And then, that 3-game stretch, man, we need to be as healthy as possible
Absolutely.
For Philly, the Patriots, and the Chiefs, because early on where we're at right now, that's going to might be defining for this team early on. Robert, let's get to you. What's on your mind, dude?
Happy to get the win today, man. I want it cleaner, like you talked about a lot of it earlier. Just the sloppiness concerns the hell out of me, scares me. We're better and we're capable of much more than we put on the field today. And if they're going back looking and thinking they delivered, I don't want to downplay win, but they didn't deliver what they're capable of, and I hope they view it the same way.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you can say throughout the first 4 weeks, especially for the offense, when you talk about not playing up to snuff, one thing we've consistently done offensively is we've left points on the board. We did it again. Hell, we even gifted points today. If you want to do the math, our Dolphins offense was responsible for more than 31 points today. They're actually probably responsible for about at least 38. You can count 41, I think, because the pick 6 obviously led to 7. And then you just gifted them that field goal off the interception as well. So really this offense was good for 41 points today. They're even so kind. They were helping out the defense today. Again, it just goes back to it wasn't pretty. It was sloppy. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? So, Bruce, what's on your mind, dude?
Hey, what's good, man? Good win, but it's football, man. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to look great. But I will say the pros is that Christian Wilson stepped up. Um, I also think Van Ginkel is a beast. You had a couple of players on defense that was just tremendous today. I didn't understand what was going on with him today. But no, it is what it is. But Mike McDaniels, one thing I do agree with you, Reason. I don't know why Mike McDaniels freezes on certain downs and doesn't trust his running backs when these guys are so good and all the numbers that they're putting up, at a high sufficiency rate. So I really don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get it too. I mean, that's a good terminology to use. It does feel like he's freezing a little bit in the moment. You know, it's tough to explain, man.
Frustrating.
It's very frustrating. You know what I mean? Very
I do know
frustrating.
that, but I do know in the past that we've had 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s, and he has gone to the running game, and they have not gotten the first down. Maybe he's kind of a little, like you said, freezes or a little trepidatious about trusting that run because of past failures. Especially they try to do that at Ingold. I think it was a game. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and they tried to use Ingold as like the featured back, and he didn't even get the first down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
That happened
Yeah.
twice. Yeah. Yeah,
And
but the thing is, though, if your hand is hot and hot hand today, you got to run with it.
yeah, it's in any
Oh,
sport.
agreed.
It's in any
Agreed.
sport. You ride the hot hand in any sport. I don't like. I just don't I want you to think about this. It's 3rd and 1.
Mhm.
You're let's call Achane running back 1 because that's literally what he is right now. I don't care what anyone tells me. He's averaging 13.7 yards per carry, and your number
Right.
2 is averaging 7.6 yards per carry, but you decide to drop back. Why? Why even bother, man?
How many yards and TDs does Achane have on the season right now?
What, rushing or altogether?
Yeah, rushing.
Rushing right now he has he has 460 yards rushing on 38 carries, and he has 5 rushing touchdowns. Receiving, he has 9 receptions for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns receiving. So he has 7 touchdowns in total, and he's good for over 500 all-purpose yards right now.
I
Is
mean, I
there a
can't
back
remember.
playing better in the league right now than him?
No.
I can't
Right now-
remember a run today for a negative yardage. I can't recall any runs that we had today that were for negative yardage. And yet we've thrown on 3rd and 1. It's like, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what are we doing on this? I don't. So right now, he's averaging 12.1 yards per carry.
Wow.
But let's
Lord.
throw on 3rd and 1. Why not? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you
'Cause we
can't
really
get
need
pass
that.
happy, man. Why are we falling into that? Like, yeah, Tua can cook. That's cool. You don't need to prove it anymore, man. You've already proved it. You know what I mean? Like,
And the thing, what Achane's doing as well, and we know he's got blazing speed, but he's shifty as well. He's
Oh, and
finding the holes.
his
His
vision is
vision.
unreal.
Yeah.
His vision's unreal. Buddy, in his
He
contact
sees that
balance.
hole where he out.
Oh, yeah, and his balance right now that he's playing
Yeah,
with
he's
is
ridiculous.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the speed is just absolutely insane. I mean, the touchdown run, they clocked him at like almost 21 miles an hour. That's how fast he was going down.
Well, I want to know what speed he was hitting when he almost caught up to Tyreek on that one play.
Oh,
Did you see where he almost caught up to Tyreek all the way from the backfield, running up the left sideline?
like an A-train.
So,
Crazy.
you know, I mean, the kid's special, man. He's and Mostert, other than the fumbles, you know, he's performing at a real high level too, right? You can't knock that guy for what he's doing.
I remember.
So do you think I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was just going to ask, do you think it's possibly get rid of Wilson then? Because
that's been the play. They just made it obvious this week. That's why me and Neil talked about it, and I talked about it multiple times this week. I mean, Rosenhaus has been telling us for weeks he'd be ready to go. He's ready to go, and they don't even activate him into the 21-day practice window where you got 21 days of him practicing and you got to activate him or put him on IR.
Wow.
So what does that tell you right now? That they're just stashing him behind what they have going on right now. That they don't see a vision, but yet they're out here using Chris Brooks today as a fullback and a tight end.
Something fishy going on. Yep.
Well, no, it's the Jeff Wilson thing is done. It's over, right? Like you got injured. You are who you are. And like Mosert's staying upright right now, right? I'm sure if Mostert would have got injured in the first 4 weeks, Chris Brooks would have been getting more work, and Achane and Brooks would be moving ahead of him right now. But he hasn't got injured, and he's other than the fumbles, he's delivering when you give him the ball.
Yes, I'd probably say he's probably a piece that you're probably going to see get moved, probably in the trading deadline.
Who?
So, Wilson.
I just want to know who's going to pick him up.
If anyone, what I don't know, you're going to get like you're not going to get much. You might get a bag of footballs for him, but you're not.
We ended up getting a bag of footballs for Chase Claypool, and he'll be available next week.
It costs less than $500,000 to cut him too, so they don't have to trade him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mostert was the only running back heading into this season other than Achane because they drafted him. But Mostert was the only contracted veteran running back that they couldn't get out of this year. Ahmed, Gaskin, Wilson, they can all get out of for low cost this year.
I forgot about Ahmed. Whoops.
We'll say this though, as good as the defense was today, how bad is that Giants offensive line, man? Oh my God. That line makes ours look like the unicorn line. It was just dreadful.
They were missing 3 starters or something like that, weren't they?
Yeah, they was missing a couple of players.
Yeah, I think they were missing their left tackle, and then I think either their right guard or I think it was like their right guard that was also out for the Giants. But I mean, that when you have a team like what Miami has, and like I said, that front 7 between the tackles and the linebackers, that was a recipe for success, because I know a couple of the Dolphins must have been licking their chops when they saw that injury report coming out with 2 guys out on the O-line for the Giants. They're thinking, all right, pin your ears back, let's go.
King Z305, what's going on, man? How you feeling after the win today?
I'm happy we won the game. I'm a little disappointed with how, the offense performed. Outside of Achane, that man is a godsend. But overall, I'm still happy for the win and just looking forward for the next week.
I mean, next week next week we got the Panthers. Man, did Stroud end up winning?
They lost a game-winning field goal for the Falcons.
Oh, really? They almost pulled that off at the end there.
Yeah, it was to the wire.
Oh, that sucks for them.
Texans are playing good, man. I thought they were going to be tanking.
Okay, someone let me know, because I haven't had a chance to look yet. Bengals.
They're up
10-7.
10-7.
10-7, man.
Okay. Oh, tell me it was Jamar Chase or Joe Mixon that scored.
It was Jamar Chase that
Jamar.
got the
Oh
TD.
God, thank you, Lord.
Parlay?
I'm in one of my leagues. I drafted Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase.
Oh, I
I'm
thought you did a
I'm
parlay.
0-4 in that league.
I thought you did a
Any other
parlay. I
year,
know you.
any other year with those three guys, I'd be blowing everyone out of the water, man. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Freaking
So
brutal.
given how everything's shaking up in the AFC right now, what do you guys think? Like, how do you guys think the next quarter of the season's going to go? Where do you think we fit?
Man, those Bills have key injuries right now. Losing Milano, one of their best coverage linebackers,
Yeah.
best
I heard
defensive
that
players.
today.
Tre'Davious White is out. How did the rest of didn't they have another corner get banged
Johnson.
up against it? Yeah, Teron
Yeah.
Johnson got banged up against us too. I don't know if he was back. Man, they are ripe for the picking right now. But the problem is, like Josh Allen turns into Josh Alien for us. Those guys get up for us, man. Like, did you see Diggs throwing the surface on the sidelines? And I'm sitting over here, and we're getting our breaks from the schedule early on when we need them. Well, these guys are imploding after just taking us to the woodshed. You love to see it, man. And
Yeah.
the Bengals, I expect them to get their ish together. I've been saying it the whole time. They started off clearly slower than they have in years prior to that, to this year. Robert, you got a ton of background noise, so I'm muting you. So, I expect the Bengals to catch up. And Kansas City, Mahomes, they're going to figure it out, man. It's not like they don't got talent. They drafted Sky Moore last year. Isaiah Pacheco looks like a better answer at running back than what they've had recently. For me, I expect the Bengals. I expect the Chiefs, but did the Bills just win their Super Bowl in week 4? That's what I'm asking myself right now, because they lost to a struggling Jags team and they lost to a Zach Wilson-led New York Jets. And it's not like Zach Wilson had all week to prepare for them as a starter. He came in after Aaron Rodgers ran out of the field holding the flag and getting everyone all hyped up. So, you look at the top dogs at the AFC right now. This thing is wide open. Herbert, they lost to us early on, but Herbert's playing good ball.
Yeah.
So, this
right now,
is wide open for us, man.
Right now at the moment, the Miami Dolphins are the number 1 team in the AFC by the record. Obviously, we got to see what Kansas City does. They're playing at this hour. But as of now, Miami's number 1. Kansas City is 2. And then you got Pittsburgh and Jacksonville in the 3-4 spots. So, Pittsburgh getting a huge win today.
Look out for Indianapolis coming up hot with Anthony Richardson. But, bro, let's Martin, I want to get your thoughts, dude. Welcome up here. Let's get your thoughts on how today went for you. It was pretty sloppy at times. Dub's a dub. Where are you at?
True. Pretty appreciate that, Reason. What's up, everybody? You know what? Good, man. Hey, you know what, man? I'm with y'all, man. I'm tired of the Bills, bro. They only show up for when it's time to play the Miami Dolphins to show out, and then after that, they just fall right on their face. But at the same time, I think we have to really start looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars defense and consider jacking some concepts, because they completely shut out Josh Allen, bro. Every year, and it's evident they got the blueprint on him. But for the Dolphins, I love the fact that we got another win. Right, hard to get a win in the NFL. We all know this. So it's great that we got the win. But as far as performance to performance, it was a little disappointing to see, not necessarily putting the team away. You know what I mean? When you have that much momentum going on offensively and defensively, that's normally when we completely blow out teams. And this was an opportunity to kind of reassure ourselves that this is what we are when both sides of the football are clicking, as far as defense getting sacks, turnovers, things like that, and then offensively just moving the football at will. But that's on Tua. I think Tua knows it. the real thing about it though is when you see Tua throw his like the second interception and he had like a smile on his face, people looked at that as something negative, but actually I think that's something real positive because normally, like back in the day, like Tua's rookie year or his second year in the league, whenever he throws those interceptions, he's always down on himself. You know what I mean? Which normally converted into a trickle down effect of everybody else being down. But now I think he's just in a completely different frame of mind and in a completely different state of mind to where when he makes those mistakes that he knows he has full control over, he's like, damn, there I go again. And I'm of the belief that once Tua cleans all that up, again, it's just going to be another situation where this offense is going to be putting up 35, 40 points a game just because we're just executing at such a high level offensively. It's scary. It's scary sometimes to see our offense clicking like that. And the biggest piece was Connor Williams. I was so happy to see him trot on the field at the beginning of the game. I was like, oh, there we go. No Liam. You know what I mean? So it was a good game to watch. But again, that's just another one in the books. And we got the Panthers next week, and that's another game that if we don't really stick our foot in they behind, it could be a shootout, and I don't want that. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, with the Panthers, they got weapons, man. I mean, they put up 24 points today, right? They haven't won yet either, right? They're 0-5.
0-5. 0-5. Mm-hmm.
Now today when they was Bryce Young was starting today, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, he
right?
started.
Well, dude, I'll be honest with you. I'm worried if we got to if we had to face Andy Dalton, I'd be worried right now because he threw for like 360 yards with that offense a couple weeks ago, man. Like
against the Seahawks. Yeah.
Like he threw the ball like 50 times, but still, I'd be more worried. I think we got to, next week, I think is another chance for this defense to continue trending in the right direction. Another chance to build confidence. What stood out to me today, what surprised me was Daniel Jones was taking hits, but because they simplified it and they were giving him the underneath stuff offensively, he was able to stay comfortable. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't really force him into any errors or mistakes. That's what shocked me the most today, that Daniel Jones came out with a clean bill with a bunch of Krispy Kremes in the turnover department. And it's not like we weren't hitting him. Right. It's not like we weren't laying the wood, pause. You know what I mean? But it's not like we weren't, there was a couple times where he got smoked from behind too. You know what I mean? And I just couldn't pop the ball out, couldn't get the ball out. I mean, it kind of surprised me today, to be honest with you.
That also might have been a game plan for them, protect the football at all costs, considering if you turn the football over against us, there's a 9 times out of 10 that we're going to convert that turnover into a touchdown drive. So, I mean, that's more on the Giants just sticking to their game plan than it is, Daniel Jones not being characteristically careless with the football. But the sack still came though. 11 sacks last week. I think we had 6 sacks or 5 sacks because it was taken away from. Was it 5 sacks or 6 sacks?
What, today?
I can't recall. Yeah.
7. We should have had 8.
7 sacks. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, defensively, I believe it was a good showing. There's still certain things to clean up when it comes to like just small penalties that are like I said, if you can control the controllables, that's what makes you a better team. Just the little details of it, controlling the controllables, having guys in and out the huddle, knowing the formations and the substitutions. Those are all controllables that you need to be on your P's and Q's at this level. You know what I mean? So once you clean that up, and then obviously we get going offensively when we're being clean and even at the red zone, the goal line, we still don't have a real array of passing, passing plays and passing concepts that actually work when we get to like goal-to-goal situations, which is why I'm curious to see how Chase Claypool is going to be used moving forward in those goal line situations. we just don't convert on those, too often. And like you said, why not just run the football in those, in those situations? But
what do you
if you want to throw it,
where are you at with this? What you've been around coaches at all different levels.
Yeah.
Where are you thinking? I mean, your run game is producing at a damn near historic level with Achane alone,
Correct.
let alone what Mozart's doing.
Correct.
What do they have to do to earn that trust on 3rd and 1? It's crazy. What do they got to move the ball?
Nah, it's I don't know if it's just Mike McDaniel maybe overthinking a situation, maybe. But you got to treat it no different than how the Seahawks should have treated that, 2nd and goal in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Like, if you got beast mode in the backfield, ain't no need to throw the football. Just run that thing. Get your touchdown and get up, get back to the sideline. But in this case, I think we technically scored, but it was called back, right? There was no pass interference called on the defender that had his back completely turned to Waddle, and he kind of, made contact with him in the back of the end zone. But on that same play, I saw Tua kind of miss a guy coming open across the field towards the right side of him, and it was like, okay, just a misread on that eventually led to that interception. But regardless, they bounced back as soon as they got the pick six. They drove the football all the way down the field, 2-minute offense for a halftime field goal attempt, and the execution was there. It's just we got to seal the deal when we get in those goal-to-goal situations. But something else to learn, something else to learn from. So it's still a positive play if you ask me.
Yeah, man, tough one.
Do we see the non-PI call on Waddle in the end zone? To me, it looked like pass interference, but it wasn't.
It was pass interference. And then we were talking before the interception.
Yeah, it was PI. It was PI.
Okay. I mean, the guy didn't even turn his. If I remember correctly, A, he didn't turn his back. B, wasn't his arm just draped around Waddle's neck?
Yep. Yeah. It looked like the same play that they called at Kohu on last week, but we didn't get the call this week.
100%. The Kohu pass interference last week against Diggs was less egregious than this one that they did not call against Waddle. So it's a pick and choose type of thing when it comes to the referees.
And then I think you can take a pick off the board because we go down to the 2-yard line. They probably just run the ball in.
But pass interference in the end zone, it's automatic first down on the 1-yard line.
No,
on the 1-yard line.
No, isn't it half the distance?
In the end zone, it's on the one. It's the ball will be placed on the 1-yard line, not half the distance. Half the distance is like a personal foul penalty, like a roughing the passer or something like that, or face mask.
Well, then
that's when it becomes like half the distance.
Even more, they're running that ball, and I assume half the distance would have been the 2-yard line. So either way, 1 2-yard line, whatever you're running.
Regardless, right. And I'm running it with most. What's his name? Did we talk about Achane already? Like as far as how spectacular he is, and
Achane's ridiculous. We were also talking about how they were using Chris Brooks as a tight end and a fullback too, right? Blocking today, and which is we're talking about how that's basically an indictment on Wilson because they're not even activating Wilson in the 21-day window, and he's good to go.
I think that might be a situation where either the ship is going to be sailed or they're going to use him for certain games in the future. Because right now, from what I can see, the running back room is pretty full, and Achane is clearly showing that he's the cream of this crop right now in that running back room. And I wouldn't be surprised if they start Achane against the Carolina Panthers next week.
George says much credit to the O-line and wide receivers for excellent second-level blocking. Agreed, man. The run blocking and the blocking in the screen game was phenomenal today, man. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're gonna get.
Why didn't?
Go ahead.
Sorry,
go ahead, Robert.
I just wanted to ask why we didn't see more of the screen game last week. Like, I would assume the issue is still the same.
Well, we did when the pressure started coming.
Week.
They started running screens when the pressure started coming last week. They were getting blown up. Remember, we covered a Berrios screen that should on the second touchdown drive that should have been a touchdown, but Liam Eichenberg screwed up the snap, and then it screwed up the order of operations from Tua to Berrios.
True.
That was one.
True.
Then later on, you were seeing screens all the time. Some of them were getting batted down. Some of them we couldn't get it out fast enough because of the or some were just got out there and were just shut down. We were running screens last week. There was a point where it looked like that's how McDaniel was trying to stave off the pressure, was just screen.
Facts. And let's call it spade a spade. The Buffalo Bills just play at another level when they come up against the Miami Dolphins. There's no other way to kind of chalk
and the
that
Jets
up,
play, and yet they play down to another level when they play the Jets.
Right.
Go figure that out.
Yeah. I don't know.
Josh Allen's Josh Alien against us and Josh Average against them. I mean, it makes no sense. And I had someone joking to me this week that if we, defensively, if we were struggling, they're like, well, you know what that means? I said, what? They're like, Robert Saleh 2024, baby.
Lord.
I was like,
I wish.
Bro. John, well, hey, maybe if he doesn't get offered a defensive coordinator position, you can offer him a positional coach position and let him, kind of like what you did with Bevel, and let him work his way back up.
Maybe,
John,
man.
The Chicago fan, the man who loves Bedard like it's his first baby. What's going on, bro? You're on mute, by the way.
Just a good win, I thought Tua looked a little shaky, but that's fine as long as he keeps those at a minimum for game to game. It's okay by me. Rushing game was obviously good again, and then the defense was pretty good too.
See, that's when I get into Madden mode, eh? When the touchdown passes and the interceptions even up. Whenever I'm in Madden and I have a 2 touchdown, 2 interception game, I got to throw 2 more touchdown passes. I got to make it 4-2. I got to double up. I got to go 2-1. And that's why, selfishly, I was hoping instead of that last Achane touchdown, they would bootleg Tua and try and make something happen. But yeah, it was, listen, it looked good early on. Yeah, man, he still made, think about this. I mean, it was an average game for Tua Tagovailoa, yet the man was still threw for over 300 yards, found Tyreek on many key occasions that Tyreek just feasted off of, let's be honest. And I mean, it's not like, he had a 50% completion percentage, right? He was 22 of 30, right? He was over 66%. So, hey, it is what it is. What does he have? What's he at now? Is he at 11 touchdowns,
11
6 interceptions?
5 picks.
Or 5 picks? 5 picks?
Yeah. And 1,600 yards.
Still a little over 2-1. I'll take it, baby. I'll take it. Let's go.
Also, we got to limit those fumbles by the running backs. It's going to have a hand.
They got to protect the ball, man. They got to be conscious of it. These guys are out here lollygagging with one hand and one arm on the ball, and
they got to start holding that like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, man. It's can't afford to turn the ball. Listen, there were things today where we lost a turnover battle, we lost a possession battle, and thank God we were against a bad team. Because I'm going to say this. They might have shown, listen, they obviously didn't execute it to the level you need to execute it. And this goes without saying. It would be pretty well known that this will work. But they executed it to a level, especially in the first quarter a little bit. They just couldn't capitalize. But if you can run the football and you're going to have your long drives where you're always having to convert third down or whatever the case may be is, and you're running the football and you're eating that, they kept us off the field that first quarter, only one drive because of how they managed the clock. And I mean, that's one way to stifle and beat our offense, just keep it off the field. Now, they obviously didn't have a good enough offense to execute that at a consistent basis throughout the game to make it a problem. But I'm going to be honest with you, if I'm a defensive coordinator coming away from watching this game, that's one thing that's going to stand out to me, that, yeah, we scored, but especially, in that first quarter, they kept us at bay by just keeping us off the field. And if they would have had someone better than Daniel Jones, it could have been potentially, we could have been off the field for a lot longer and less points. So, You know.
Yeah, but because of our speed, we was wearing down the defense during that second half. If you notice, a lot of guys was out of breath on the other team, on the D line for the Giants.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
that
but then you
speed,
have your
that
1
speed,
minute drives where you don't wear anyone out.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
We're leading the. I don't know if you guys saw that stat, leading the NFL in 1 minute drive when drives a minute or under right now with 7. That result in a touchdown.
Wow.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, let's get some of you guys' final thoughts here. We'll start off with you, British Fin fan. Your final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, happy with the win and to return back to the top of the AFC East, which is great. With some things to clean up today, but they'll look at the tape, they'll get in the film room, and they'll have Fangio's still going to be looking at this defense, and and offensively, we want to tighten up on the ball carrying. We don't want to leave teams in games when we can blow them away and put them to bed. We've got to clean up the penalties and the execution. But yeah, I'm happy at 5 and whatever we are now, and on to Carolina. It's a tricky game, but I think we can take care of business and fins up.
Bruce, your final thoughts.
Thanks for having me up here, Reason, today. And another thing, have a nice Thanksgiving tomorrow, you people in Canada. So salute to that.
Appreciate it, man. I can't wait. One of my favorite holidays. I love the food, man.
Yeah, but great win. You know what I mean? We'll fix it up, man. I think today was like a confidence booster after that loss from last week. So, until next week, fins up.
Robert, your final thoughts.
Happy we got the win. Happy to see something's changed. They just need to keep grinding and keep tweaking stuff and clean it up. Like pretty much everyone said. Still a lot of meat left on the bone.
Agreed. John, your final thoughts, man.
Kind of going on with what everyone else is saying. Just keep the ball out of the other team's hands. We too many times today we had unforced errors, and I know I'm confident in McDaniel is going to fix that, and this team is going to fix that because they've shown nothing less than that. So go Dolphins and good win today.
Yeah, love it. Continuing on, King Z305, your final thoughts, buddy.
Awesome show, Reason. Thank you for having me on. Love the win. Achane, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I just hope we have a better offensive, performance next week. After that, fins up.
You know what? I would agree with you. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think the problem is right now the season Stroud's having. Usually they like to give that to quarterbacks, right?
I was just thinking that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Stroud is the one that you gotta watch out for in terms of Rookie of the Year with Achane, because it's a quarterback friendly league and it looks better if a quarterback that was drafted number 1 overall gets. It's a whole political thing.
That too. Mm-hmm.
Martin, your final thoughts, brother? Hey, look at that. We don't got 50 plays to break down on Tuesday.
Thank God, right? But I'll tell you what, man. The game. This is one of those games where it's so good for the film session about the team, where you see so many excellent plays, but equally like a handful and a half of negative plays. And you're like, damn. When are we going to get that full victory, right? Like the Broncos game. It's something to work off of. It's something to build off of. Devon Achane, it's tough to look at him as a rookie because even when he scores his touchdowns, and I know y'all see it, he don't even celebrate, man. He just be looking for people to hug and flips the ball to the referee and just jogs to the sideline, sits down, take a sip of water, and then gets back on the field. Like this is a unique player that we have on our hands right now that is just scratching he's scratching his floor, let alone approaching a ceiling that I'm not sure we're gonna see a running back like this. I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, but anybody that averages over 10 yards a carry, that's something that you don't see in the NFL at all, and we're seeing it every single game. This guy's popping off. So I'm curious as to how we're going to be using him moving forward. If we're going to keep him as running back 2 or potentially elevate him to running back 1. I think Raheem Mostert will support him regardless, and the offense will keep clicking. But it was still a game to where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is another step forward for the team, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. When it gets to those crucial games like the Eagles and Chiefs in the near future. So, fins up, man. I like the win.
Hey, man, and guess what? We're at home next week too. So
back to back.
Panthers coming to take on, and again, hey, big chance. The schedule has blessed us early on. 2 games after the Chargers game to get right for the Bills. We didn't get quite right, and now we've got 2 more games to get right before we enter that stretch against Philly, the Patriots, and the Chiefs, which I think is going to be a really, really big and important stretch for this team. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're going into that stretch 5-1. We could come out of it 6-3, or if Belichick gets his first win against Tua, 5-4. So that is that kind of streak right there. So I don't think we'll lose to the Patriots, but that's one thing where you lose to the Philadelphia Eagles and it could roll into the next week, and then now you're traveling to Frankfurt, Germany to take on Kansas City on a 2-game losing streak. So got to get our mind right. Let's refocus. Offense needs to be less sloppy. Stop. One consistent thing they've been doing all season is leaving points in the field. Need to clean that up, man. And then, hey, scored 31 for us and scored another 10 for the Giants today. Put up 41 points today between the gifting them a field goal and a pick 6. Got to be better, man. Got to be better. Listen, you can make these mistakes. You can lose the time of possession. You can have these turnovers against a bad team, but you can't do this against the good teams, man, because if you would have done this last week against the Bills, probably would have had the same outcome you had last week. So
and to be fair, reason I think Tua knows it, right? I think he knows it and understands what he needs to do.
Well, you saw
and how
with the Connor Williams interception, even with the interception to Waddle, his arm hit Connor Williams' helmet. When you watch the replay, his arm hit Connor Williams' helmet. That's why the ball traveled high. So hey, listen, we'll dive into the film on Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow for a special Canadian Thanksgiving recap. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be on live tomorrow sometime in the day or in the evening. Be on the lookout. And and then me and Martin will be back on Tuesday for Tua Tuesdays, where we'll break down the film. Then me, Richmond, and Ballgame on Wednesday for the finish line. Thursday, me and Neil. And then we're right back at previewing games with Carolina on deck. We'll see all y'all on the next one. Smash that like button on the way out. Appreciate all y'all. Fins for the win, baby. 4-1, top of the AFC East. Gotta love it. Smash that like button, baby. Fins up. See y'all on the next one, guys.
Peace.